Hello and welcome to another video with Tabletop for One. Today I will be discussing the difference between Warfighter Modern and Warfighter World War II, and I will let you know which of the two is my favorite. I got into Warfighter uh, late last year, and I bought the Pacific set to start, as well as some expansions, the ammo crate, and I've just had a blast with the game. I backed the last Kickstarter that has uh, the North African core, as well as the Mediterranean core, and I love this system. I made a video that compared Arkham Horror, Marvel Champions, and Warfighter all together, and graded each one based on certain aspects of the game and mechanics and art and that sort of thing. And Warfighter came out on top for me as the favorite of the three, even though I love the other two games as well. And you'll have to check out that video if you want to see my comparison there. It's one of my early videos, so it wasn't done that great, but I hope you check it out and I hope you enjoy it. Now, recently, in the last couple weeks here, I got the Warfighter Modern expansion and added that to my collection. I was just really curious about how it played. I already loved the Warfighter system, so I wanted to try the Modern expansion and see what I like. And it didn't disappoint. It plays like a Call of Duty game. It's got all the modern equipment. The battles that I played so far I've played in the Middle East, and it's been a really, really good time. So before I go into the gameplay aspects and the difference between the two, I'm going to talk about the style, the art, and the cards. That is probably the biggest difference for me. And the biggest issue I have. So right here I have the World War II cards. And on the left here, these are the player cards, the soldier cards. And on the right here are the enemy cards, the hostile cards. These are done with very, very good black and white photos. They add a lot to the theme. I just really, really like the way it adds the thematic element to it. I did make some criticisms on the graphic design in my review of Warfighter when I compared it to Arkham Horror and Marvel Champions. I felt like the cards could have been done a little bit better on size of fonts or placement and that sort of thing. But overall, that is probably my biggest criticism. I think I gave the game a 9.3 out of 10, so it's not a huge criticism. Now, when I opened the Warfighter Modern, I noticed that comparatively, the colors were a lot brighter. Even like the action deck, this nice bright green. We got these bright yellows here. So the colors are less muted than the World War II, and I really like bright colors in my board games. So immediately the backs of the cards really stuck with me, and I really like that. But when you turn it around here and you see the player cards and the hostile cards, the backgrounds of those cards really take it away from me, because they're nothing in the background. It's dark. There's no landscape, no anything. And so the focus on the art here for me, it just doesn't work for me. Now, that's going to be my biggest criticism about Warfighter Modern. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, do I like Warfighter Modern over World War II? And the answer is no. And it's only because of the cards. Gameplay wise, I like them both probably equally. They both have similar gameplay, similar styles. Now, Warfighter Modern plays a little bit easier, in my opinion, than Pacific. Now, I haven't encountered everything in Warfighter Modern, but notably, Warfighter Pacific deals with the theme of being in the jungle and having to deal with the harsh elements or harsh terrain and restricted movement and that sort of thing. And the guns you have are more restrictive. The loadouts seem to be a little bit more restrictive. Overall, I mean, you would kind of expect that because the technology and the weapons development in World War II is far less capable than in modern day. And so, thematically and mechanically, Warfighter World War II is a bit more difficult. Now, I know in Warfighter Modern, there are special adversary decks that add difficult locations and difficult enemies, and but the same thing goes in Warfighter World War II. There are certain missions that increase the difficulty exponentially, as well as the elite enemies that are far more difficult than the regular enemies. So that is the difference in the difficulty level there. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen, I am a big fan of Warfighter. Got it tattooed tattooed on my arm. So big thanks to Dan Verson Games for providing the art file for that. I love this game so much that I tattooed it on my body. It's not the only game, actually. I've tattooed Arkham Horror on my leg. And in fact, I'm going to do a video on the top 10 games I want to get tattooed on my body. So look for that in the future. Anyways, back to the comparison here. So between the two, I am going to go with Warfighter World War II. I said because of the cards. And the other thing that really stands out for me, and it's not in the game itself necessarily, although the campaigns do provide this, but Warfighter World War II has so much historic source material to add to the thematic elements of the game, to add to the story. You can go and read about specific missions that happened in World War II, and then you can go and find mission and location cards and objective cards that are similar to those missions and simulate those missions in your own way. And so having that extra bit of resource to augment the gameplay elevates the World War II Warfighter for me. So thematically, this one just exceeds, and it's just based on the fact that outside the game, I have books and books and books of World War II information and pictures and everything else to go along with the game to add to my experience. Both games are incredibly fun. Both games are fast to play. The rules are a bit difficult to get at first, but the games have these great keyword pamphlets that really answer a lot of the questions during the gameplay. It's alphabetized and everything, so it really helps you get back to the game quickly when you have a question about a specific keyword on a card. a lot of the things make sense as far as the rules go and in the gameplay. And I just love building a squad, deciding who I'm going to take to go on the mission and executing the mission and seeing what happens and drawing those hostiles and those events and everything that add to the story of your squad trying to reach the mission objective and trying to complete their mission when oftentimes the odds are against them. It's just a great experience, all in all. So overall, again, I'm going to give it to Warfighter Pacific. If you were to ask me which one I would have you choose, I say pick the theme, the era, and the theater of operations you like. There's so many to choose from. There's 3 different modern cores. There's, I believe now, 4 different World War II cores. There's a Warfighter Fantasy coming out probably within the next year here. So there's a lot of themes to choose from. Pick the one you like. The system is great. The system is going to last, and I hope they continue to make content for it. Really looking forward to the next ones. But there you have it. I really appreciate you watching this video, and hope you have a great night. Thanks.